look at this rusty, crusty piece. I think it comes from an ice cream churner, but I know how to turn this into a beautiful piece of home decor. For this project, we're going to be using IOD's Lost Garden Transfer. I love how wispy this one is. It has beautiful white space on it. It is going to be perfect for furniture or for smalls. And look, in the inspiration picture, they actually put it on some metallics and it looks amazing. So the way that these transfers are designed, like I said, they're perfect for furniture or for smalls. So the pages come together as one larger piece. They'll connect together. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut out the bottom half of 2 pages of transfer, and then they'll connect together to make one longer piece to put on to my metal container. I'm going to put on one piece at a time. So you're going to remove your white backer and I'm going to put it on my piece. There was like a little trim at the bottom of this container, so I just use that as my guide and just put my transfer right on top of that. When I'm doing a curved surface, I like to start in the center and rub it down with my transfer tool and just work my way out. When I get to the edge, I like to rub and kind of pull up on the transfer. I feel like that is the easiest way to get these to transfer, and look how beautiful this is coming out on this metal piece. So I'm going to finish up transferring this piece, then I'm going to take the second piece I cut out. I'm going to put it together where, you know, the 2 transfers come together, and I'm going to do the same process. Rub it off until this piece is done. Look how beautifully this came out. Like I said, this transfer has some beautiful negative space. So it's the perfect transfer when you already have a beautiful background and you just want to enhance your piece with some pretty florals, but not totally cover it up. I do want to seal this transfer up. I'm going to be using my favorite sealer, Dixie Belle Clear Coat in a flat finish. As you can see, I love it. It's probably time to open up a new jar, but a little bit goes a long way. So I definitely have enough to finish up this piece. And I love this sealer because it truly dries with a flat finish. If you wanted a glossy metal finish, then you could use the Dixie Belle Clear Coat in a glossy finish. I think this came out beautiful. I love how the florals look on the rusty metal, and I only used 2 small pieces of this transfer, so we have a lot left to use and more projects to create with this one. Hey guys, I have got to tell y'all about AG1 because I have been taking it every single day and I absolutely love it. I noticed major changes and I think you will love it as well. And I want to thank them so much for sponsoring today's video. I love AG1 because just 1 scoop per day supports energy, gut health, and your immune system, which is very important this time of year because, you know, none of us want to be sick. It is packed with 75 vitamins, minerals, and whole food source ingredients. I used to take a ton of different vitamins and supplements, but this has pretty much replaced all of them in just 1 scoop. It comes with a 30-day supply shipped straight to your door every single month, so you won't run out or forget. And it even has these handy travel packs so you can take it on the road with you. And if I can be honest with y'all, at first I was not super consistent with taking my AG1 every day, but I noticed the days that I took it, I felt better. So I decided to commit to drinking my AG1 every single day, y'all. And I can tell you, I've noticed such a difference in my energy level, also in my gut health, and I kind of feel like my skin looks better as well. So if you think you would like to try AG1, y'all use the link in my description or scan the QR code on my screen and you will get $20 off your first subscription. Y'all check it out. I am loving it and I think you will as well. Check this out. Mailbox, brand new in the box. It is pretty, but it's a little bit too new looking for me. I think we can give this a makeover and just give it like a cool old look, pretty look for spring. To give pieces an old texture look, my go-to is Dixie Belle Sea Spray. You're going to mix it into your paint, and you can use any paint for this. I'm using Fusion paint in the color Eggshell, which is a beautiful color for spring. The more you put into your paint, the more textured it will be. I went for a very textured look here, and I'm going to brush it onto this very slick metal mailbox, and then you can even stipple it for added texture. So I'm just going to put 1 thick coat of the Dixie Belle Sea Spray and the Fusion paint mixture on this mailbox. As you can see, it has tons of texture on here, and one coat pretty much gave me full coverage. So now I'm going to go over it with a layer of chalk paint, but I do want a lot of that blue to come through. So I took my Fusion Mister and just kind of watered down the paint a little bit. I'm using Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Drop Cloth, which is a beautiful off-white color. All right, now for the magic. Once your paint has dried, you're going to take some sandpaper and you're going to sand down your entire piece. And what is going to happen is you're going to sand down all those little peaks of texture that you created, and it's going to make it look like it is very, very textured, but you're going to have a very smooth finish. But if you want it to have texture to the touch, then you could just sand it a little bit less. I wanted mine to be super smooth, so I kept sanding until it was all the way smooth. For this project, I'm going to be using the IOD Shade and Song stamp. Y'all, this one is beautiful. It has branches, it has florals, and it has birds. So when you get a stamp for the first time, you only have to do this when you first open it. You want to do what's called seasoning it, where you grab some sandpaper and just kind of scuff it up a little bit. It helps the ink adhere to the brand new stamp. We are going to be layering our stamps for this piece. So I'm trying to kind of choose my layout, figuring out where I want to put the branches, where I want to put the birds. Obviously, I want the birds to be on top of the branches. So what you want to do is you want to stamp your top piece first. So I'm going to put the birds first. I have them exactly where I want them. Now I'm going to take a thin mount. I'm going to pick them up, and that'll kind of keep them in place. I'm going to add my ink. I'm using IOD ink in the color black, and then I'm going to stamp my birds onto the mailbox. That looks absolutely perfect. Using the thin mount with all of the grid lines helped me to kind of keep everything where I wanted it to be. All of your stamps come with what's called a mask. So it's a little image of the stamps, and then you just put it over what you've already stamped. That way you can layer your stamps and it won't mess up these little birds. So I'm going to grab my tree pieces now, or my little branch pieces, and I'm going to stamp them on top. And it is as easy as that to layer stamps. Just remember, you always want to start with the image that you want on top. Now it's time to pretend like I am an artist. So I'm taking the French eggshell, the color we used on the base, and Dixie Belle Tea Rose, which is like a beautiful dusty pink color. And I'm going to watercolor in this image. So I'm going to use the French eggshell for the birds, and then I'm going to use the pink to come in and paint all of these little flowers on here. And I love doing this with stamps. It kind of gives you an outline to work with, and you come in and you watercolor, and it looks so beautiful and so springy. This is the Starburst Bloom that is on my website. It has these cute, subtle little pink flowers, and I thought it would pair perfectly with this mailbox. I love the way this came out. I had so much fun creating this textured effect and stamping it and watercoloring it like I was an artist. Y'all, let me know what y'all think. Here's a little seed starter set. No, I'm not going to be bringing this home and growing anything, but I love these little pots, and I have a fun idea for them. This is all of the supplies that I'm going to be using for this project. This is the new IOD Vintage Brooches mode. It is one of my favorite new modes. It's beautiful, and I know I'm going to be using this one a ton. So I want to use clay in this mode. So I'm taking some cornstarch, and I'm just going to dust it on, and that'll make it a lot easier for the clay to come out. I'm going to take the IOD air dry clay. I'm going to push it into my mold, and then I'm going to remove the excess and pop it out. Look how cute this one is with the little bow on top. I love these because they're like frames, but they're just so embellished. This is the IOD paint inlay. It is called Spring Melody, and it is full of cuteness, y'all. Bunny rabbits, there's lambs, there's florals, there's chickens, there's ducks. There's all the things that we love in all types of different shapes and sizes. So you can use this for big projects, or you can use it for small projects like we're going to do today. I'm actually going to be using these little bunnies and ducks right here. I'm going to cut out the pieces of the inlay that I want to use for this project, and I'm going to take some chalk paint. You're going to want to use chalk paint with your paint inlays, and I'm going to paint on the inside of these frames. My clay is still wet. It has not dried. We're going to do all this while the clay is still wet. So once I get one coat of chalk paint on the center, then I'm going to take my inlay. I'm going to put it on top of the wet chalk paint. I'm going to spritz it with my mister. And then you want to let it dry. You're going to be able to tell that it's dry because the paint inlay will kind of change colors. You'll see it. You're going to spritz it again, and then you're going to remove it. It's a few steps, but it really is a very simple process with a really cool result. This is my favorite part, when you get to reveal the paint inlay, but put those inlays on the side and let them dry because you can use them up to 3 times. Now I want to seal my piece up because this is paint, so if it gets wet, it will mess up. I'm using the Dixie Belle Easy Peasy Spray Wax because it is easy peasy. And I want to add a little bit of color to this, so I'm going to take this Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Tea Rose, and I'm just going to dry brush on. So I'm going to put some paint on my brush. I'm going to kind of brush it off, and then I'm just going to lightly go over it just to add, like I said, a little bit of color on the frames of this. All right, let's move to our pots. So I do want to brighten them up, give them a spring look. So I'm going to take the same Dixie Belle chalk paint in the color Fluff that I used on the little labels, and I'm just going to very quickly just go over the pots. I want to give it a very rustic look. Now, all of this actually did not take that long, and our clay is still wet and still bendable, which is perfect. So I'm going to take my Gorilla Glue. This is my favorite glue to use on clay, and I'm going to just put some on the back and then glue it to the pots. I absolutely love the way these came out. It's a very muted kind of French country shabby chic spring look, and I feel like we're gonna have so much fun with these paint inlays and the vintage brooches mold. All right, y'all, that is the end of today's video. Please leave a comment below. Let me know what your favorite project is. I had so much fun creating today's video. I absolutely love the new spring IOD release, and this was just a small portion of it, y'all. They have 17 new products and designs, so definitely go to my website and check out everything that they have. And I think this is such a good release because we got the fun spring stuff we like the bird's nest and the birds and the butterflies and all the beautiful florals. But I feel like a lot of this release you could use all year long. So I am looking forward to more videos and using more of these products. So once again, I hope y'all enjoyed today's projects. I hope you are inspired, and I will see y'all next week for another DIY thrifting home decorating video. Bye guys.